This is Red Moon Roleplaying.
Masks of Nyarlathotep. Where last we left our investigators, Shelby Shattuck had been invited into a creepy vicarage to speak with the Reverend Jeremy Stratton about the events that had occurred in Lesser Dale. Meanwhile, Madeline and Bertie were planning their next move against the, Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh, a cult that it turned out Bertie had a little more knowledge about than he first realised. We will go to Derbyshire first of all. Shelby, you are taken into a vicarage which is laid out like quite the study, the room you were in anyway, and there is no rhyme or reason behind the cataloguing of books and papers here. It would appear that the Reverend Jeremy Stratton is quite the scholar, but not a librarian or archivist, because navigating these reams of paperwork would take you months to find what you were looking for. But maybe this is that kind of disorganised chaos that some people thrive in, where he knows exactly where everything needs to be. Oh, do excuse the mess. And close the door, please.
Of course.
Mrs. Bright? Mrs. Bright? You hear a whittering from behind an interior door. Do excuse. Mrs. Bright, I have a guest. Yes, do you drink tea?
Of course, I would love to.
2 teas, please. Lovely. Please, there is a seat under that paperwork.
I will gently take the pile of paperwork and try to set it into a relative clean spot.
No, could you set it there?
Oh, of course, yes.
Not where you were going to place it. I'll lose track.
Won't want to do that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. He eyes the paperwork you have set down as if it is about to explode, but then shakes it off. So I guess we should just come down to it, shouldn't we?
I'll stare for a moment at the paperwork he was so concerned about. Then, yes, let's. I'm fascinated to find out what you discovered.
Well, you see, I encountered the beast.
Did you?
Yes, it spurred a wealth of research. He gestures at the room, some of which was valid, some of which was not. Oh, thank you very much, Mrs. Bright. I'll go get the tea. He wades through some sheafs of paper, opens the door as much as he can. It's difficult because it opens inward and he's got books and files stacked up. Reaches around to grab a tray with a teapot, 2 cups, some milk, some sugar. He very nearly teeters and topples it over some of that paperwork, but manages to hold it steady. It is difficult lifting a tray around a corner without toppling its contents.
I'll stand up and help him with the tray around the corner.
Oh, whoa. He uses his heel to close the door, passes you the tray. Let me clear some space on the desk. It's bad luck to put a silver tray on the floor.
Good to know.
He starts stacking some of the work that's on the desk. Can I ask you to make a spot hidden roll, please?
41 under 42?
Oh, okay. He moves it and conceals it, whether intentionally or not, you're not sure, because he's stacking things all over the place like this is a memory game. There is correspondence on the desk from the Derwent Valley Order of the Golden Druid.
Oh.
A primer for Greek to English translation. There's clutter on the desk, including what looks like an old leather-bound journal, maybe, and the word vein can be discerned on one of the loose papers.
V-A-N-E?
V-A-N-E, indeed, like weather vane. So, that here should do. He pats the desk.
I'll set it down.
Well, please, feel free to be mother.
Of course. And I will start to pour the tea and ask him how much sugar and milk he takes.
Oh, I drink it black. Just a personal taste of mine. Never quite got on with dairy myself. Turns my stomach into a battle zone, and my bowels rise up in upheaval.
We certainly wouldn't want to have a military conflict going on.
No. Sometimes it is all I can do to suppress the revolt when I have unintentionally imbibed milk. But tea, I cannot get enough of it.
Now we'll give myself 2 sugars and a splash of milk, and then hand him his black tea.
Thank you, kindly. Now, I only glimpsed it momentarily when I was walking home after visiting one of my parishioners. It was around 9 o'clock night, and the moon was full, as it will be tomorrow, although a heavy mist had risen. As I was opening the front gate, I heard a heavy breathing a few feet away. Looking up, I saw a huge dark shape shrouded in the mist. While the form was obscured, its burning red eyes, and he locks eyes with you as he says this, filled me with terror. It let out a blood-curdling cry, and I knew it had seen me. Without thought, and without bravery, I bolted into the house and locked the door, thanking God for my safety.
As well you should. Sounds like you barely dodged a horrifying experience.
Based on what occurred with the others, I could well believe so.
Yeah, do you perchance think that this may have been just an unusually large dog, or...?
Well, the constable, he shot an unusually large dog, Constable Tumwell. And since then, there have been no other attacks. So as far as I'm concerned, the issue is resolved. He brought the beast into town, in fact. Oh, I say into town, sorry. I didn't grow up here. You might be able to tell from the accent. He brought the beast into the centre of the village so that everybody could see it, and it was a large dog. Looked to me like a shepherd's dog. But larger than imagined, and none of the local shepherds claim to have lost theirs. There must have been wrestling some sheep, that thing.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But yes, that's that, I suppose, he says, folding his hands over each other, as if to say, case closed.
It's fascinating because on the one hand, it could very much paint a picture of, let us say, preternatural influence on one of God's beasts. And on the other hand, it could simply be chalked up to an unusual circumstance and series of coincidences. It happened to be misty, it happened to be a full moon.
He gives a slight shrug of his head, but doesn't comment on that. He just does that and smiles and takes a sip of his tea.
Do you, out of curiosity, know, I heard someone mention that legends of black dogs have been around for quite a long time. Do you have an idea where maybe this legend started, or is it just because dogs are prone to be in these kinds of areas because they're working dogs?
Well, local legend speaks of a large, hound-like creature. I say local legend. You go anywhere that is 30 or 40 miles away from a city in England and you'll hear this legend. Said to walk the land around a dale. The legend recalls the beast was once the working dog of the last squire of the village. It howled for 3 days and nights at the passing of its master. Some folk from Lesser Dale and Greater Dale, they'll say that if the howling should ever start again, it means someone will die. That's the old legend. You know, I've been doing some reading on the subject, in fact. Quite caught up in it, in fact, to the point that some members of my congregation have had to, I'm embarrassed to say, ask me to stop bringing talk of beasts up in Sunday sermon. It's easy to get carried away with such fantasies.
The draw of research sometimes sends me down what my family would call rabbit holes, where you would just find a thread in one book and then you see how it could tie into another thread in a different book, and then the chase, if you will, of this piece connects to this piece, connects to this piece, and you may not be putting together even the same puzzle, but the thrill of finding connections between different disparate works can be exhilarating.
I cannot agree more. I think it is quite captivating, and in a way addictive. You find one of these loose threads, and you just want to pull the whole tapestry apart until you see what it's made of. He doesn't blink as he says that, just stares into his tea.
Keeper, would I be able to maybe make a psychology roll to see if he is believing his own story about this as just a dog?
Yeah, go for it. And if you fail, you can come to your own conclusions.
15 and 22.
You got over 50, did you say?
15, sorry. 1-5.
Oh, 15 out
yeah,
of
so
22.
But normal success.
Excellent. Oh, you don't think he believes it for one moment, that this is the end of things. He is clearly very distracted, though you don't pick up much fear. You think he has the kind of obsessive curiosity that could ultimately lead to him putting himself in a dangerous position.
So I'll watch him for a moment and then go, I remember someone in the pub mentions tomorrow is going to be the full moon. Do you have
That's right.
plans tomorrow?
Plans?
Well, I mean, there's lots of not only rumors of things that happen in the full moon, but also I have found in my experience that even just normal people sometimes get drawn into the mystique of the full moon and act a little differently than they would normally, drink a little too much maybe or whatever. And so I found some people, when they know the full moon's coming, they relish it and they go out and celebrate or be around people.
Don't go out.
No, don't go out?
No, your best off, if you're going to be staying here longer than one night, you should stay in the pub, I think, would probably be best.
Okay, is there...
I'm sure the weather will be dreadful.
Well, true, but I don't think, literally I cannot get any more soaked short of throwing myself into a body of water.
And he stutters and mumbles a little, shakes his head. The others, they like to pretend that it isn't happening, but they're still howling during the full moon.
There is.
Oh, yes. I truly do hope that village life can return to normal. I don't think the people here want these tragic events raked up. And the family should be left to grieve in peace. But if there's something out there howling, he chews on that, lifts his eyebrows, and then goes for another sip of tea.
I'll let that sit for a moment, and then, as he's had a chance to kind of recollect himself, I'll just casually say, just out of curiosity, going back to the legends, you mentioned that the dog grieved for its master. Is there anything in the legend about how to deal with the hounds?
I wish I could tell you. You've heard, no doubt, plenty of stories that say silver is used to bring down the werewolf, that a hound can be brought down with wolfsbane, or this, that, or the other.
But that's wolves. That's not quite the same thing.
No, indeed, it isn't. And I do not believe that whatever this is the same thing. It's why I'm doing all this research. I would like to find an answer. I would like to.
far be it to intrude myself, but I have a fair dab at research myself. Would you need some assistance or help in trying to uncover such a, shall I say, resolution to the problem?
He furrows his brow at that. No. It's best that I conduct this research myself. Confidences and all that. This is my congregation, you understand, my parishioners. I think it would be unseemly. They would feel betrayed if I were to break certain confidences.
Of course, I wouldn't want to intrude on that. I'm simply mentioning that I've also had, let's call them outre experiences in the past, and I would be remiss if I did not offer assistance, because I do know the weight such experiences can have on a person.
Can I ask you to make a hard persuade roll here? The Reverend is certainly reluctant to accept your assistance here. He clearly feels, for some reason, that he needs to keep certain things to himself. Maybe a hard persuade will extract the why.
Well, I didn't get a hard success, because I got an extreme success.
The Reverend thinks about it, drains his tea, looks to the wall, the cross that hangs there over the door, looks back to you. I believe it's... There's a passage I discovered in one of my researches. It relates to the trial of the witches of the Bakewell in 1608. Bakewell being a place, not the tart. Mm-hmm. Saying that Lady Evangeline Vane was a witness for the prosecution of these witch trials. Annie Stafford and Jenny Green were found guilty. They were hanged. Or hung, I suppose. I doubt they were given the mercy of a broken neck. For witchcraft. A telling remark mentions that Annie Stafford cursed Lady Vane with the mark of the beast. The Vanes are my charge, Shelby. They are my responsibility. Their spiritual salvation. While I may have suspicions, concerns about the Vane family, I cannot betray them, and I cannot harm them, and I would not harm them, and I certainly would not allow anyone else to. But this, and from my speaking to hunters and shepherds in the local area, tells me, reluctantly, that the howling always starts in the region of Plum Castle.
Well, I had planned to take in the other sets anyway, so...
Please, he says, leaning forward. I do not believe they are all... It frightens me to use the word. I do not believe that they are all monsters, Shelby. But if one of them is ill, or dealing with a spiritual... He looks around for the word. Blight. I need to find the means to heal them. I
know the toll that these kinds of things can take. It is absolutely not my interest to defame or injure anyone. It's just to help these people. I am a writer, but I don't indulge in sensationalism. I don't want to drag people through the mud for a few more readers and a couple more tuppence. That's not my goal. I would love to try to help the Vanes as well, if it is what that we may seem could be. If it's not, I will enjoy the countryside for a couple of days and I'll move on with my life. But it seems like you need help of some kind. And I can't, in all conscience, walk away without at least offering my hand.
Then I accept it, but again, please, I am demanding secrecy from you here. I don't want to find a story has been written in the style of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle talking about the Vane family and,
No, I have a whole backlog of other stories I need to write. I will not even balderized will I bring the Vanes up. And as was pointed out in the pub, even if I did at this point in time, it would seem derivative. So there's a whole host of reasons why that's not in my interest to do that.
I appreciate that. And, well, then again, so long as whatever you wrote was better than the Mazarin stone.
It would harder to be worse. I mean, really? He had a record player? Come on.
And the dummy? Anyway. It is getting late. You should track down your friend and, well, maybe we'll be able to meet up again tomorrow. But again, if you speak with the Vane family, if you visit Plum Castle, please be circumspect.
I will. Your name will not come up.
Thank you.
And I will make my way through the different piles of paper, being careful not to disturb anything as I make my way out.
Excellent. Well, that extreme success certainly garnered you an extreme answer. A direct link. As you leave the vicarage and make your way back to the pub, you basically intersect with Jackson, who has got his coat, his borrowed coat, wrapped tight around him, up to the chin. You can see he's shivering a little. Misjudged the rain again.
Yeah, it happens. You should get inside where it's warm. We should both get inside where it's warm.
Were you at the church?
Yeah. Learned quite a bit, actually. We should head back to the room so we can exchange notes.
Okay. He opens the pub door for you. It is largely depleted of people now. Most of them have headed home. After all, just because it's a full moon tomorrow doesn't mean it's not a working day.
Mm-hmm.
The barman, Bill Tatlock, gives you a short nod of the head. Nightcap?
No, I think we'll probably just head to the room. We have had a long day getting here.
Oh, right, see you for breakfast. You and Jackson head to the room, closing the door behind you. He takes the coat off, sits down on the bed, sighs. Well, I've uncovered a little, and by the look on your face, Shelby, you've uncovered a lot. Go on, out with it. What have you found? I know you can bet. I know that I'll get halfway through my story and then it'll come spilling out anyway, so go ahead.
So, there's a black dog legend in the area, which is not surprising. We talked about that. It's pretty common in this kind of part of the country. The vicar, Jeremy, apparently has seen said dog, and just full Doylean, black dog with mist and red eyes and the whole 9 yards.
Jackson is nodding along eagerly.
And so I asked, like, was it just maybe a big dog? And he said, well, the constable shot it, and they dragged it into the center of the village to show everyone, hey, the dog is dead. But apparently there are still howls that are heard every full moon. And there is another story that has been kept very quiet, and the vicar does not want this name to come up, nor does he want his name dragged into it, the Vale family who are staying in Plum Castle, who apparently, back when the witch trials were happening, Lady Vane was cursed during the witch trials by one of the witches, and was given the mark of the beast. And so, apparently, this is a consanguineous curse, and the howls do tend to originate from the castle.
He rubs his chin. Well, that is a solid lead, and ties into some of my findings. I spoke to Constable Tumwell before he turned in for the night. He did indeed shoot a dog, though he insists it was nowhere as large as most of the villagers seem to think. I think there's a certain amount of affirmation that is going on in Lesser Dale, where everyone is making the size of the fish bigger for their tail, if you see what I mean.
It was this big. No, it was this big.
And so the case was closed. Tumwell confirmed the names of George Osgood and Lydia Perkins. Their bodies were found on consecutive days. The attack on Harold Short happened a day later. All incidents took place near their homes. Shelby, their bodies were ripped apart and savaged, a grisly sight, according to Tumwell. The police examiner confirmed bites and claw marks were evidence of a wild animal attack, such as a large dog. So apparently Harold Short, he was knocked unconscious, suffered deep lacerations to the abdomen, but survived and has gone to his brother's house in Skegness, which is far too far for us to easily reach, just to interview him. But this all happened 3 months ago, during the nights of the full moon. So 3 consecutive nights, 3 consecutive attacks. And since then, at least according to Tumwell, there haven't been any other assaults of this kind. No more killings. But according to your vicar, the howls have continued.
Yeah, so what changed 3 months ago?
And what occurred before?
Mm-hmm.
Something isn't right. Now, on the subject of the veins, I looked into them a little. I spent a brief amount of time, given that I wasn't permitted much of it in the village hall before it locked up for the night. They have some records, though most such records would be at Plum Castle. Seems the Vane family have been around here for quite some time. Their names are on the inside of the church. Their names are in the village records. These are the barons, I suppose, of the territory. Now, they seem to be landowners of quite a diverse array of businesses, as in all over Derbyshire. They don't build things of their own, but they own the land and rent it out to industrial concerns and private businesses, that kind of thing. Seems the Vanes, despite living in a castle, as a lot of antique aristocrats like to, do have a fair amount of wealth to their name.
So it makes it more challenging to just walk up and say, "Hey, by the way, are you actually wolf people?"
Yeah, exactly. From what Tumwell says, Lord Vane is perfectly pleasant. Perfectly pleasant individual. Arthur Vane is his name.
Mm-hmm.
And he lives in the castle with his son Lawrence and his daughter Eloise. They have some servants who live up there, all old and loyal. So I suppose a trip to the castle is on the agenda for tomorrow.
Indeed. The vicar's in an interesting place. I feel like he has caught the same bug, if you will. He's seen a glimpse behind the curtain and has developed that kind of monomaniacal research instinct that we're both familiar with.
Oh, yes, I can sympathize.
Yes. But he's worried about, because of his role, he feels like he needs to protect the Vane family, both their reputation and their spiritual well-being. So on the one hand, he could be a valuable asset, but I feel like if we have to take, let's just say certain kinds of options are going to be limited to us if we bring him along.
Mm-hmm. Fine. Okay. Well, let's do it your way.
And what way is that?
Well, you set the plan, Shelby. If we're going to show up there as ignorant tourists, or if you want us to go as investigative writers.
I think going up as, I'm inclined towards investigative writers, because less lying we have to do, frankly. And lying has not been my strong suit throughout all of this. But they're going to naturally ask the question of how did you find out, why are you here, blah, blah. So I think maybe our best tactic will be to leverage our mutual publishing resource and say that we're doing a book of myths and stories in the area, and we understood that there may be records here that the village hall doesn't have. That might be our way in.
Yes, I like that. And we can tie it to their history more than simply monsters and myths.
Exactly, and one thing I do know about these kinds of aristocrats is they love to talk about their family history.
I'm sure. I haven't encountered many aristocrats in America, but the ones you do lounging around in salons can't help but wax lyrical about their past.
Luckily, you can't throw a rock in Oxford, and I hit 2 of them, so...
Should make a sport of it. Let's get some sleep, and we will tackle this in the morning.
Sounds like an excellent plan.
And so that is indeed on the agenda for Shelby and Jackson. Shelby, you have had a relatively stress-free... Actually, no, you haven't. The journey here was wet, and there was tension running up to the Reverend, so you aren't recovering sanity right now. I will, however, allow you to recover 1d6 luck, because you are very much on a good track right now.
Excellent. I will add those 2 points of luck back, which is just how many I've spent.
Madeline. We return to the hotel where you have ducked in to get yourself dressed properly and otherwise wash up for the day. And what's more, check in with Rupert to see if everyone else has made their check-in calls. And Rupert is on the other end of the phone. And here's what he says to you. Oh yes, both of them have been in touch with me, getting on famously well in their own way. You know what they're like.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
And I'll be sure to pass the message on. Obviously, you only spoke to me last night, but I'll let them both know.
Thank you, Rupert. I appreciate it. How are the boys getting off in... And what's the name of the city or the little village that they're off in?
They're in a place called Lesser Adale. I can't say I've ever been myself, but apparently it's a quaint little place. I only got a brief telegram just received this morning. But I get the impression not everywhere is wired for sound in rural Derbyshire.
No, but this is good, Rupert. The system that we put in place works.
Yes, and yeah.
Which is good.
No problems at all.
Felix is still local then?
Yes, he's very close by.
Good. Okay, there's another individual that I think I'm going to onboard onto this network soon.
Oh?
Yeah, there's someone that I met along the way that I think could be really helpful for us.
Oh, well, wonderful.
Yeah.
Who?
He has either a nickname or maybe a middle name. Birdie is what he's asking to be called. But his name is Albert Hill.
Albert Hill. Well, more the merrier. I'm sure Shelby will be delighted to meet him.
I think so too. Okay. Rupert, thank you for everything. Are you all right?
Top hole over here.
Good. Okay. My next point at this juncture is I think I'm heading down to Scotland Yard, so wish me luck.
Oh, well, gosh. Yes, keep it together. Don't get yourself arrested, or I'll have to bail you out, as they say.
Well, thankfully you have access to the funds to do that. Okay, I need to get going. I love you. Bye.
Yes. Have a good day. Bye.
Cycling backwards in time here, Keeper, I have separated from Birdie, which completely fine. We're good to go there. He knows where I'm staying, so he has at least the contact information of the hotel. I would have tried to get him a room here if that's something that Birdie would have wanted, just so the team stays close. But I don't know if that's something he would have agreed to.
I think if you say you're buying me a room, I'm not going to say no. But I also think I would have insisted on 2 things. Number 1, that we did make our own way there separately.
Yes.
Just to play on the fact that maybe our association isn't known just yet. It probably will eventually, but, play our cards while we can. And also, any talkings with the inspector, if you could leave my name completely out of it and not mention anything about my involvement.
No, of course. Okay, so retroactively, Matthew, we would have set that up. So I would have come in, got cleaned up, checked in with Rupert, gone downstairs. I would have booked another room. Actually, no, he needs to do it separately. So it would be, he can book the room, but then I'll wind up paying for it out of Jackson Elias funds.
Absolutely. Can I ask Albert then to make a stealth roll, please? This is just, I'm going to give you a plus 20 to stealth here. To the skill rather than the roll, because you know London like the back of your hand, especially the Clapham area, and that is where the hotel happens to be, so...
I'm afraid that is a 97, which is a critical fail.
Would you like to spend some luck? You could either spend 2 to make it a regular failure, or you could spend 1 to get a reroll and risk critical failure.
Why not? It's already a critical. Let's 1 point of luck to reroll. And that's a 1.
Bertie, not only are you followed to a point, you also can identify the faces of the people following you. As in, by the time you get to the hotel, you've well and truly lost your tail. But you know that you are being followed by 3 people. 2 of them are women. 1 of them is a man. The man is one of the individuals from the Blue Pyramid last night. 1 of the women is one of the dancers from the Blue Pyramid, though you don't recognize the other one. They take alternate routes to follow you, and for a while you are very much having to do loops and U-turns and cut through buildings, because they are very much intent on following you to wherever they think you have Madeline squirreled away. By the time you get to I think it was the Bell and Griffin Hotel, you have lost them. But if you see any of these 3 people again, you will definitely recognize them.
So one of them was one of the gentlemen from the alley, and one was a dancer. What about the second woman?
You don't recognize the second woman, but she is young, attractive. She is much like the other 2, clearly skilled in pursuit, because she looks normal, and I know that's a very boring description, but she is not wearing an outlandish dress, or she doesn't have her hair in a strangely exotic way. What's more, it is worth mentioning that the woman you don't recognize is white, doesn't have the complexion or facial features, shall we say, or ethnic makeup was probably the better way to say it. She doesn't have the ethnic makeup of someone from North Africa or the Middle East.
Interesting. These folk really have an awful lot of people at the Blue Pyramid itself. I feel myself wondering how much the owner is being squeezed or doing the squeezing. After all, his warning to me did seem genuine, as if he actually didn't want me, not out of the goodness of his heart, of course, but just didn't want someone getting murdered. But is he actually part of this organisation himself? If he's getting his own workers to help, or is he being forced? Something to think about. I was planning to do a little stop on the way to the hotel, but I reckon maybe I'll either wait till just before closing hours, or when it's a bit darker, there's a bit more fog. Maybe. I just wanted to stop by a curiosity shop I happen to know. But maybe for now, I'll leave it.
Madeline, you are heading to Scotland Yard to speak with Inspector Barrington. New Scotland Yard is on the Victoria Embankment. It's easy enough to reach. You can take the underground. If you're being followed, you're certainly unaware of it. But it is unlikely, because right now everybody is tracking Bertie. They don't know where you were to start following you. As you walk up the steps towards Scotland Yard, you enter one of the largest police stations, probably the largest police precinct, as you would call it in America, that you have ever witnessed. This is the central operation for the Metropolitan Police. This is the largest burg of police officers in all of Great Britain. And looking around you, while there are officers in plain clothes, the vast majority milling in and out of here are wearing the dark blue. Many of them have helmets, these almost conical protective helmets, either under their arms or atop their heads. There are, of course, civilians here as well, people standing at desks, waiting in rooms, being interviewed. Most of it, however, goes on behind closed doors. And while you haven't penetrated too deeply into the building, you get the impression, as soon as you are at the front desk, this place is likely a labyrinth of corridors, rooms, tucked away cellars. Not necessarily grimy enough that there's someone being beaten into a confession. This isn't New York, but bureaucratic enough that if you don't know your way through, you're going to end up somewhere you'd rather not be. "Can I help you, miss?" says the desk sergeant.
I blink twice as my attention comes to the desk sergeant because nothing in my central nervous system wants to be in this place right now. I know this is where I need to be. I understand this is a lead that I need to follow. There's likely a reason why I tried to outsource this to a not black female in this situation. But this is London. This isn't New York. But also, this is still the 1920s. And I really, really, really don't want to be here. Hi. I am looking to...
Morning.
Morning. I was hoping I could speak to and I'm going to pat my shirt and my skirt down as if I'm trying to find a piece of paper, and then I'm going to pull out that article, which at this point has stains on it, food on it. It's probably just been beat to hell, but it's the article. It was like a Inspector Barrington. Is he available by any chance? Does he work today?
Inspector Barrington, I don't know if he's working today, miss, but I can certainly ask through. Why don't you take a seat over there? And he peers over the desk. This is to do with the, and he smirks, Egyptian murders, is it?
I found this article.
Did you? All right, take a seat, and I'll ask the inspector to come on out.
And I'm going to do the awkwardly step back, try not to trip over my foot, look left, look right, look as mousy as possible, and then I'm going to go take that seat.
Takes about 15 minutes, which is an interminably long time to be sat there with no reading material. There's plenty of distractions if you're a people watcher, and a precinct like New Scotland Yard is a very colourful place for people. All kinds of personalities pass through it. Before a tall inspector with a big horseshoe moustache. He is wearing plain clothes, but you know him to be Barrington almost instinctively as soon as he steps out from one of the offices behind. He's wearing a brown overcoat. It's funny enough that so much talk of Sherlock Holmes or Sir Arthur Conan Doyle is going on in rural Derbyshire right now because he looks like a detective. He has a raincoat, the mac, the shoulders that would overflow the jacket beneath. He steps through the hatch from behind the desk. You see the desk sergeant laughing in his wake. He dabs at his forehead. He's sweating a little. No wonder, given the layers he's wearing in this building. And then runs his fingers through the very thin hair on top of his head. Are you here about, the Egyptian murders, miss?
And I'm going to look at the desk sergeant, anyone that's in proximity. I'll give a double nod. I understand there's a reward. I think this says 24 pounds.
He sighs. That's right, miss. Would you care to come with me?
And it's one of those things where I do I should stand up. No, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to stand up. No, I'm going to sit. And then I finally commit to just coming to my feet. I am going to close in my shoulders, my neck, and I'm just trying to bring myself in as much as possible with a fear I don't actually have to imagine, but almost a submission that's adding on to it.
It's quite all right, miss. You are quite safe. No need to be nervous.
Thank you.
My office is through here, unless you would rather speak outside.
No, your office sounds fine. Thank you.
All right, follow me. Don't listen to anybody else.
Oh, well, now I have to listen to everything that goes around me, but I will follow.
Yeah, as he is leading you back through to the offices where numerous interrogations and interviews are taking place. Several of the police officers present are effectively catcalling, not you, but the inspector. Got another Egyptian tip, have you, Inspector? Is this one going to earn the reward, Inspector? Another murder last night, Inspector? Maybe this is the one. Maybe this is your Jack the Ripper. He closes the door, shutting out the noise. Sit down, please, miss. First, tell me your name, if you would be so kind.
I'm going to very quickly digest that entire just atmosphere. And it shifts my empathy in a direction that I wasn't going to go. And I'm going to sit down once that door is secured. So you heard about the murder last night then? I figured they would have cleaned that up or pulled the body before you guys found it.
His eyes widen at that. When Barrington's eyes widen, they almost protrude. He has very spherical eyeballs, which are on display right now as his eyelids disappear completely. Murder last night? Wasn't in the papers. How'd you hear about that, miss?
And I am going to wince, and I'm going to come out of this shell, this disguise that I used to at least get to point A to point B. I know because I was there. And I saw it happen. I don't have a lot of time, Inspector, and I need to...
Please, I'm going to... He reaches into his coat and he can't find it. Then he reaches into the... I need my notepad. Sorry, I'll take my coat off. I was about to head out. I thought this would be brief. Just another lunatic. He takes his coat off, finally finds his notepad, gets his pencil, licks the end of it. You were there, were you, miss? Where was it then? What street?
I'm going to pause and I'm going to look at him. I'm taking a big risk being here, Inspector. The things I'm going to tell you, they're going to sound ludicrous. I'm not insane. And I also don't have a lot of time. And I need some assurance that when I leave here, that you treat me like the loon that I need to be to get from this doorstep to my next one.
Miss, if you have information for us, you will be quite safe. Let me rephrase that. You will be quite safe regardless. If there is somewhere you need to go under police protection, I can arrange that.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
He puts the notepad and pencil down. Miss, let me start again. I feel like you are in a bit of a panic, and I have not helped things at all. My name is Inspector Barrington of the Yard. Elias Barrington, as it happens. I am responsible for investigating all leads to do with the so-called Egyptian murders, a title which I have to say that I hate, because it is inaccurate. We have people come into the station on the regular, you see. Whenever there is a talk of a reward, you will get all and sundry coming in, throwing their hat in the ring, thinking they will be the ones to claim it. £24 is a lot of money. But you came in just now, mentioned that you were at the site of a murder that took place last night that is not yet public knowledge outside of people in this station who can't help but open their bloody mouths. And, of course, those who found the body. So, I am taking you seriously. I am going to tell you now, I will believe what you say to a point. It is my job as a police officer to determine what is true and what is not. But I guarantee you that whatever you tell me, I will note it down judiciously and without bias.
Thank you.
Does that help you?
Yes, that does. Thank you.
Then let's start again. You were at the site of a murder last night.
Yes.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play Masks of Nyarlathotep for Chaosium's Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. Joining us as our keeper is none other than our dear friend Matthew Dawkins, and we were also joined by Bridgett, Jeffries, and Eddy Webb. The music was made by Ager Sonus and Halgrath, and we've also used Cryochamber's Lovecraftian compilation albums. All of this with the permission of Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody dark ambient for your gaming table. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, Julia, Bob Lange, Cameron, Graham Barey, Doug Thomson, Lily, Maciej, Black Templar, Dennis Sadecki, and Leonhardt for their generous support. You would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, this show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Divinity Lost, Call of Cthulhu, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, and Warhammer 40k Imperium Maledictum there. And you can also get early and raw access to all of our recordings, and hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as even play some Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember, I am the last. I will tell the audient void.